Yu-Gi-Oh! An incredibly complex card game with tens of thousands of cards. However, what if each set was separated from the rest of the massive card pool and your choices when building a deck were extremely limited? In this series, in order to learn Yu-Gi-Oh! From the ground up, I will be embarking on an adventure through the history of the card game with Jeex. In each episode, we will have access to all the cards in a select product, and using only the cards in that product, both of us will build a deck before playing a best of 3 match to determine the winner of the episode. We will move in a chronological order in the series, and with each new episode we will forget the cards of the past in order to experience something brand new. We hope you enjoyed this adventure through Yu-Gi-Oh! And its evolution with us. Welcome to the historic Yu-Gi-Oh! Learning journey. Guys and girls, ladies and lads, welcome to another episode of the historic Yu-Gi-Oh! Learning journey. And this time we're going to be diving into 2003, and that means Labyrinth of Nightmare as well as Tournament Pack 3rd season. So the set actually has a decent amount of quite interesting cards, so let's take a look what's in here. And right off the bat we have a Gemini Elf, a level 4 normal monster with 1900 attack. So Gemini Elf has this one with mechanical chase as the de facto beater that can be normal summoned without a tribute. And then we have Human Slime is a 2000 defender with no drawbacks, so those are still going to be something to look out for. An interesting thing about this set is there's actually a pretty good amount we'll see. There's a pretty good amount of just like very good card, but there isn't like a Jinzo or anything like that for the set, I don't feel like. Next we have different kinds of mask spells, and the one that's actually relevant here and we might actually see is Mask of the Accursed, where it says that the equipped monster cannot attack, and once per turn during your standby phase, the controller of the equipped monster takes 500 points of burn damage. So you can use that to stall as well as to make one of your opponent's monsters kinda useless. Then Fairy Box, a continuous trap where when your opponent's monster declares an attack, you can toss a coin and call it, and if you call it right, the attacking monster's attack becomes 0 until the end of the battle phase, and then it has a maintenance cost of 500 life points. So multiple things that can sort of negate and mess with attacks. That's going to be pretty interesting. And then perhaps the most powerful card of the set, I would say, Torrential Tribute, a trap card that still gets played sometimes to this day. When a monster is summoned, wipe the field of all the monsters. So very simple effect, but very effective as well. Oh, and then one of the most powerful cards ever printed in Yu-Gi-Oh! Card of Safe Return. A continuous spell with nothing else but when a monster is special summoned from your graveyard, you can draw 1 card. It's not mandatory, it's not once per turn. You can have 3 copies of this on the field, and yeah, luckily for us, this set doesn't really have much recursion, so this probably won't rear its ugly head, but this is a card that in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Would be probably the greatest card of all time. Then we have Amazon stuff, just pack filling stuff that probably we won't see. A Jar of Greed, a trap that lets you draw 1, but there's something in the tournament pack that sort of makes that irrelevant. And then we have a few more good equips. United We Stand boost the equipped monster by 800 attack and defense for each phase monster you control, and Mage Power just the same for each spell trap, but it's only 500 boost. But these are actually like pretty good pumps in power for a monster without having any drawbacks. So these are actually something that we might see in the episode. Then we have Offering to the Doomed, a quick play spell where you target one monster on the field and destroy it at the cost of your next draw phase. So quite a steep cost, but if we really start for removal, that is something that we can consider. Jug the Spiritualist, you can discard a card to destroy a special summoned monster on the field and neither play against special summoned monsters. We're not really special summoning stuff in this set. There will be some cards that we will probably discuss more in the deck breakdown. that can be considered here, but in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Jargon, very powerful. In the context of this set, I don't know if we'll see it. Kycoo the Ghost Destroyer, 1800 beater, that when it inflicts battle damage on your opponent, you can target up to 2 monsters in the graveyard and banish those targets. And when Kycoo is on the field, your opponent cannot banish cards from either graveyard. So a pretty good beater with an actually good effect. Same thing with Bazoo, the Soul Eater, 1600 beater, where once per turn you can banish up to 3 monsters from a grave, and this card gains 300 for each on the land of your opponent's turn. So not only do you get to swing with a potentially 2500 normal summon that doesn't need a tribute, it also stays boosted your opponent's next turn, so they might struggle in beating over it. So obviously Kycoo can hinder the Bazoo strategy, but these are both cards that I expect us to play in varying amounts in this set. Then we had Dark Necrofear, which is one of the special summons in the set. It cannot be normal summoned, it must be special summoned from your hand by banishing 3 fiend-type monsters from your grave, and during the end phase if this card is in the grave, because if it's destroyed by an opponent's card and sent there, you can target 1 monster your opponent controls equipped to this card, and when it's equipped, take control of the monster. So a lot of text there. It's a very beefy 2800, but the problem here is you having to banish 3 fiend monsters, which the cost probably will be too steep for us to conceivably play. Get rid of the Winged Spirit, special summon by banishing a wind monster from your grave, and then you can change battle position. It doesn't matter, it's just a pretty easy special summon. If you're running a lot of winds, Gillosaurus, another special summon, you can just special summon it, and if you summon it with its effect, your opponent can special summon a monster from their graveyard. So we actually get introduced to quite a few special summons in this set. A Zombie of the Dark, 2500 beater that can be normal without attributing, and it cannot attack directly, and if it destroys a monster by battle, loses 200 attack, but it's still a very powerful beater, and this will definitely show up. Mercutai is a way to hinder your opponent's usage of spell cards. Obviously it has to be face on the field, so it probably won't matter. What will matter though, and I can already give you a little bit of a spoiler to what I'm gonna be playing, is first time we actually might see some fusion. So the Last Warrior from Another Planet is a fusion of Zombie of the Dark and Mercutai, and it gets played even to this day. It doesn't get brought out with its materials. There's no way for nobody plays it like that, but in this set's context we might actually bring it out with its proper materials. And what it does is, if it's special summon, destroy all other monsters you control, and then when it is on the field, it's just a floodgate that prevents either player from summoning monsters. Being 20-50 means it cannot really be beaten over by conceivable ways without equipping stuff or having a fully boosted Bazoo. So that's actually a pretty interesting card. Then we just have a bunch of weird traps. Destiny Board makes its debut here, so when it's on the field, as well as all the Spirit Message cards, it's basically just a immediate win con. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. Spiritualism, which is a spell trap to the hand and this cannot be activated or negated. It's just basically there to deal with the many equips and continues stuff that this set has. Then a Bait Doll, probably the best removal for back row we actually have in the set. So you target a set card in the spell trap zone and reveal it, and you force its activation if it's a trap, and then if the timing is incorrect, you destroy the card. So let's say you just fire off a Bait Doll, you force the activation of a Torrential Tribute. No monster was summoned, so it's an incorrect activation, so you just pop the trap that way. If it's not a trap, you return it face down, so that you can't deal with spells that way. And instead of going to the grave, this card actually on resolution gets shuffled back into the deck. Defusion targets a fusion monster on the field and returns it to the extra deck, and then if you have all the materials in your grave, you can special summon them. And Fusion Gate is here as the way to actually fuse stuff. During your main phase, the turn player can just fusion summon a fusion monster from the extra by banishing the mats from their hand or field. Applies to both players though, so something to keep in mind. Finally, Magic Cylinder. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can target the attacking monster, negate the attack, and then burn the opponent for the same amount of the monster's attack points. So a ton of like actually decent cards here. But what makes this interesting, and I'm already like, sorry, this will be a longer set breakdown because there is a lot of actually good cards. Because previously the tournament packs 1 and 2 have been sort of, there's a morphing jar in there, or there's like a mechanical chaser in that. Like there's a single good card, but now with tournament pack 3rd season, this actually mini set actually has a lot of good cards. So mechanical chaser makes its return. So the 1850 beater as well as Axe Raider. Mechanical chaser might still show up. Axe Raider I don't think is good enough to show up though. Spirit of the Harp, another 2000 defense normal summon. Or set, sorry, and Pot of Greed. This is what I was alluding to with Jar of Greed. Yeah, we got 3 Pot again, so we're gonna be sacking with those. The set. And then finally, Dark Elf. So a 2000 beater that requires 1000 life points to attack. We've seen these before, but we just have access to a lot of very good beaters in this set. Not only thanks to just the main set Labyrinth of Nightmare having a lot of good cards in it, like Gemini Elf, that just have very good stat lines without any real drawbacks. Also, Tournament Pack 3rd season introduced a lot of good cards into the mix as well. So this is actually pretty interesting. The deck building for this set will actually be, I feel like, harder than what it's been before, because there are like multiple good cards, but there isn't like a standout, okay, Jinzo will determine the winner of the match, so you just build around Jinzo. So that's why I feel like the deck building for this set will be pretty interesting. But that was a long set breakdown. Like I said, I apologize, there's just a lot to talk about with this set. And yeah, let's get deck building, and I will see you all in the deck building section. Peace.
So, once again, we have a deck that I don't know what the point actually was in making it, or what the idea was in actually making it. There's a multitude of issues with it in hindsight, but for the most part, I'm thinking that Bazoo, Dark Elf, and Gemini Elf will be key pieces in an aggressive playstyle for this deck, where, like, for the most part, the only goal in this deck is to have a strong monster to do beatdown with, once again. But this time we don't have effects that like properly synergize with anything to prevent stuff like with Jinzo. So for example, with Bazoo, we have an effect, of course, and that effect makes him stronger than most other monsters in the set. Well, no, not most of all other monsters in the set. But the biggest problem is that it requires monsters in the graveyard for it to be activated, which is something that you're probably not going to actually get that fast because we don't have stuff like Graceful Charity or Morphing Jar or what have you. And that means the deck will be infinitely slower than the... What was it again? Pharaoh's Servant? Pharaonic Servant? Pharaoh's Servant. In comparison to that set, this is probably going to be beyond slow. So we have Bazoo. Bazoo is probably the strongest beater in the entire deck, like as on its own. No, well, not on its own, but when you use its effect. So into the late game, I think Bazoo is gonna be a big threat. I'm only playing 2 here because the fact that, like I said, it's good into the late game. It's not that great before the late game. It's still just a 1.6k to maybe 2.2k beater, but odds are we're both gonna be playing Mage Power and United Withstand because these 2 equips are really good. So anything Bazoo can do, anything else can do just as well. Then we have Dark Elf. Dark Elf is the, I'd say, de facto beater in this sort of limited format. Because of the fact that it's 2k, it's base 2k, it's good for defense, it's good for beating over Gemini Elves, it's good for beating over Kycoos, it's good for beating over Bazoos. And I think Dark Elf is arguably the strongest beater in Tournament Pack 3 and Labyrinth of Nightmare. But Gemini Elf is a more universal beater outside of limited formats. Like, if I had to decide between Dark Elves or Gemini Elves for an actual deck, I would probably play Gemini Elves 100% of the time over Dark Elves, because the way that the games are way more grindier, and paying 1/8 of my life total for an attack is probably not worth it. Then we have Gillosaurus. I don't actually know if this is worth running. I play 2 in here, mostly because of the fact that it's a possible aggressive play. Like, I can maybe go hard on turn 2 somehow. Like, if my opponent doesn't get anything in the graveyard on turn 1, I can go for like a big play where I go 2 Gillosaurus and a Bazoo or something with United We Stand. And then I swing over the defenders, and then I swing with the huge Bazoo. That can happen, maybe. I doubt it'll happen, but it's possible. So that's the only reason why he's here. In, for example, Pharaoh's Servant or something before that, where we had more tribute monsters, I'd argue that Gillosaurus might have been an actual threat, where on turn 1 you might Gillosaurus into Jinzo, which would be really scary. Then I got Jen, again, the Spiritualist. Yes, he's my favorite card in the set. Yes, he's not. He doesn't really do much, arguably. Like, his effect of destroying all special summon monsters is very threatening, and his second effect of not being able to special summon any monsters is also very threatening. But the biggest problem is that there are no real threats for special summoning in this set. Like, you may have something like the Last Warrior from Another Planet or the Spirits. John, sorry, my bad. But yeah, like the Spirits, for example, and that's about it. There are no relevant special summoning cards. There's no Monster Reborn, there's no Call of the Haunted, there's no Premature Burial. You don't have anything like that. So for the most part, he's kind of useless in this. He's a really good card, arguably, outside of this set, but he's only gonna be in this set, so. Then we have Kycoo, which is a 1.8k beater, and that's pretty good. Now, on top of that, we also have the effect of banishing monsters when he deals battle damage, which is, as we probably established earlier, kind of relevant with Bazoo. If your opponent has 3 monsters in the graveyard for Bazoo, Kycoo will just fuck that up. You can just banish 2 monsters from the graveyard, and Bazoo suddenly becomes way weaker because you can't just sack monsters to him. Really good, really good. It's arguably a graveyard hate piece from MTG. For example, Unlicensed Hearse has a similar effect and is a 15 euro card or something like that. That's fucking crazy. But yeah, I mentioned the Rock Spirit or the Spirits earlier. This set has a cycle of cards that are all different attributes that say you can banish one specific attribute monster from the graveyard and special summon this card. And they all have unique effects. Now, this is the one that the Earth monsters have. And the reason why I'm running the Earth one is because I have Bazoo, Gillosaurus, Earthbound Spirit, and Gemini Elf. And that's also why I'm running Earthbound Spirit rather than the better 2k walls in this set. It's specifically because of the fact that this allows me to have fodder for the Rock Spirit if I need. Tornado Bird, it might end up being really useful simply because of the fact that I don't know how much we're going to be playing stuff like Fairy Box, Skull Lair, Torrential Tribute, and Magical Cylinder, or even these two, Mage Power and United We Stand. But it's like the best and only like removal in the entire set for spell traps, and that's kind of scary because this is gonna be really rough. And Spiritualism as well, but we'll get to that. Then there's Earthbound Spirit, which is not an Earthbound card, by the way. Just to clarify, it's not a part of the Earthbound archetype. Immortal Earthbounds, I think they're called, actually. Never mind. But yeah, it's a level 4, 2k wall. Simple as. Every single set has one of these, pretty much. So we're playing that simply so that we can wall out Gemini Elf, Dark Elf, and Bazoo that doesn't have 2 sacks to it. And Kycoo, of course. I think there's a Spirit that has like 1.7k attack and gains 300 when it attacks. So it's kind of relevant in that way too. But yeah. Then we have Gemini Elf, which is now the strongest level 4 normal monster beater in the game. It has now outclassed Mechanical Chaser and Legion by having 50 more attack than Mechanical Chaser and 100 more attack than Legion. So from here on, if we played with the rules of being able to play with older cards that we've already played with, Gemini Elf would probably be in every single deck alongside other good beaters. Now, it's important to note that we had the option of running Mechanical Chaser in this, because it's in TP3 as well, it's in Tournament Pack 2. But as you can probably tell, I don't have it. I have Dark Elves in place of Mechanical Chaser. Originally, I was intending to play a few of him in the main deck and a few copies of Dark Elf in the side deck, but I figured, fuck it. I'm gonna just go all in on the aggro, and I put Dark Elves in. So yeah. Next up is Mage Power. Mage Power is one of the strongest equip spells in early Yu-Gi-Oh! And arguably, like, up until modern Yu-Gi-Oh! It's one of the best equips, because equips are simply bad in the game. It gives you 500 attack for each spell trap that you control. That's really big, because you can kind of easily control how much attack your monster gets, and it'll impact a lot. Going from like it's just 500 by itself, but you can get up to 3,000 more power with it, which is crazy. And because it's also defense, you can use it for making huge walls for your opponent to get over. So then we have Offerings to the Doomed, which is probably the best form of removal, spot removal we have for this format, because it's the only one that says target one monster and kill it. Now, there is a severe drawback, which is skip your next draw phase, which is damning. Like, if you could just use all of those before... man, I don't know. If you could use all three of these at the same time to get max value out of them and not lose more than one draw, that would be huge. Then we have Pot of Greed. I'm kind of confused why you would play 3 of this card, because, like, you can't... I still can't comprehend... Oh, fuck. You draw 2 cards, okay? That's +1. We don't have any other card draw. That's why we play 3 of these. And it's also free card draw. It's insane. It's broken. Play 3 every time. Spiritualism. Now, this is the other form of spell trap removal we have in this set. It bounces 1 spell trap to your opponent's hand, and you cannot negate this card's activation or effect. That's pretty fucking good. I'd argue that if this thing was quick play, it might still be seeing play today. Then I have Unite We Stand. Now, Unite We Stand has been limited before, in case you weren't aware. It's been limited to 1. I think it might have been banned even. I think it was banned for 1 format and then got unbanned instantly. But United We Stand has been really good, like, in not modern Yu-Gi-Oh, but like old Yu-Gi-Oh and relatively new Yu-Gi-Oh from the 2010s. Oh man, I've been playing this game for like 15 years. Kill me now. Yeah, but United We Stand is a really good card. Like, it gives you 800 attack for each face-up monster you control, which means that with stuff like Gillosaurus or with the Rock Spirit and the Spirits in general, you can make really huge monsters with it. Yeah, that's massive. It's insane. Then we have Fairy Box, which I feel like might be really strong in this set. I'm not sure yet, but like the idea that I can reduce, I can summon a monster in attack, and I get to then call heads or tails on a coin toss when my opponent attacks into that monster. And if I call it right, his monster dies. I think that's really good. I think that's really big. It'll be interesting to see how that works out. Then there's Magic Cylinder, which I'm pretty sure everybody watching this probably knows what this thing does. But yeah, it can be really devastating if you have Mage Power and you know we stand on 1 creature, for example, and then you just fucking die. Skull Lair. Now, this is one of those cards that I originally played with when I was like 13, 14, like on Dueling Network. Not even Dueling Book, but Dueling Network. And I thought this card was insane. Like, what do you mean I can constantly reuse removal? That's crazy. I can banish monsters from the graveyard? That buffs Grand Bazoo. Is it Grand Bazoo? It's Grand Bazoo da Eza. Yeah. I can totally speak whatever language that is. But yeah, I used to play like DD, Homunculus, and whatnot. And Grand Bazoo with this thing. And I would use this for spot removal. And it was really good, really great. And then I got Torrential Tributed a lot. And it was like, oh, I could have just used that instead, huh? But I think Scholar is a really interesting card, and you can make an argument for playing more than one copy of it. Like, I haven't really talked about the ratios for the most part, but it's kind of irrelevant for this set, I feel. Like, the reason why I'm playing one Fairy Box and one Scholar is because the fact that I feel like having multiples of Fairy Box is a brick. Although you could make an argument for it activating multiple times and being more relevant because, oh man, but Scholar does not have multiple activations per copy on the field. You can just use it once and you can banish 4 or more, for example, or 4 monsters to defeat one level 4 monster. I think if we had Morphing Jar in this set, this could be really good, but because we don't, it's kind of whatever. I'm running one copy simply because of the fact that I think we will get to a point in the mid game where I can start killing level 4s or lower. And Torrential Tribute, 3 of these, 3 of Pot of Greed, and 3 of Offerings to the Doomed are because these are really good cards. Pot of Greed +1, Offerings to the Doomed, it destroys a card, and then Torrential Tribute just says, I destroy your field on your turn. And that's it. I also destroy my monsters, but like, that's whatever. Your monsters are dead too. So yeah, good card. And I don't know if people still play it, but when I was originally playing like 13 years ago a lot, is it 13? Oh man, it's been 13 years. A little bit more actually, like 15. We were using this card a lot, like in Duel Network. And I think this card is probably the strongest card in Labyrinth of Nightmare. Like, hands down. There's some other cards in the set that I can say are really cool, but they're not really like stuff that I would say are powerful, you know. But yeah, then we get to talking about ratios for a bit. I'm running 2 Bazoo in the main deck and 1 in the side because I felt like we're probably going to go into a mid-game situation, but having multiple Bazoos out on the field are going to lose to Kycoos, I'm going to lose to the Spirits, I'm going to lose Gemini Elves and Dark Elves, so I figured, I'm not going to run more than 2 of these, and I'm probably going to have to set monsters anyhow more than I am going to be able to just normal summon Bazoo on turn 1. Or not the Jaugen, depending on how many monsters Weebfox is gonna be running that special summon themselves. Like, if for some reason he's running some weirdo deck that plays 3 Gillosaurus and multiple spirits and other cards that like special summon themselves, that'll be funny. But that's why this is in here, so I can just destroy his field every time. More copies of Tornado Bird. This is for removal on cards such as Mage Power, Unite Withstand, Fairy Box, Scholar if it gets played, and Magical Cinder, and even Torrential Tribute. All of these cards are really good and high value targets for Tornado Bird, but because of the fact that I can't be sure that he'll play like any of the equips or any of the continuous spells or continuous traps, I'm opting to only play 1 in the main deck. I'm putting 2 in the side so that I can decide in game 2 and game 3 if we get there if I want to run more. And if he's running more, I get to see if he's running any of these continues or equip spells. So then we have a tech card that I think might become relevant depending on what kind of deck he's playing. So Ekibio is kind of like a stacks card. So it prevents your monster from attacking. There's another card in the set that's called Mask of Restrict, I think. No, is that it? No, is it Restrain? No, it's not this thing. God damn it, I'm blanking right now. You can totally tell I didn't read the set list before this rundown. Where is it? Equip spell. Equip spell. Mask of the Accursed? Yeah, Mask of the Accursed. Yeah. These both do a similar thing where they prevent opponent's monster from attacking, which is really good because this is mostly going to be about beatdown, right? But Mask of the Accursed has the additional effect of dealing 500 damage every standby phase. Now that's pretty good. I'll give you that. But I think Ekibyo is arguably stronger depending on how much spell trap removal is around. And because we only have 2 cards in the set that have spell trap removal, like effects. So if he's not playing any, I think Ekibyo is going to be really strong. I think it's going to just like outright destroy some cards on his field. And because it's recursive, it comes back, I think it'll be useful. if the game goes on long, this will shut down threats with stuff like Mage Power and United We Stand, for example. Then a third Mage Power and a third United We Stand, because of the fact that if I feel like I'm going to want to go even harder, I will just put more copies in. A third copy of Spiritualism, because if I feel like, again, same with Tornado Bird, if I need to remove spell traps, I'll probably use this for that. Then we get to the interesting cards that I put in. Now this card, the Vengeful Bog Spirit, is meant to make it so that the game grinds out and I get my desired game state with stuff like Skull Lair, Fairy Box, and Ekibio. In hindsight, I made a 60 card deck, which is more heavily like based on around Vengeful Bog Spirit, the Dark Door, Ekibio, and other similar effects. But I decided I'm going to go with the 40 card deck simply because of the fact that it doesn't. The 60 card deck seems a lot less fun to play against, and I think this will be way more fun to play and play against. But yeah, Vengeful Bog Spirit prevents your opponent's monsters from attacking on the turn that they are summoned. Effectively gives them summoning sickness, which is really interesting for Yu-Gi-Oh! Because in like these games that we've been playing, there have been situations where we're just like, I don't want you to have that on the field, so I'm going to summon this card, I'm going to ram this into it. Now, the option we do have now is that if like, for example, I want to ram something into a monster that he has on the field, but I can't do it, I play Vengeful, or let's say he played a monster on his turn that I would want to ram into, but I can on the turn after I play Vengeful Bog Spirit. I can instead normal summon a monster and activate Torrential Tribute in response to my normal summon, and I can clear his field with that. And that's like, that's arguably really good. Like, I feel like this gives you way more control over the state of the game, and it'll make the game more interesting to play, just like in Magic and whatnot, where a slower game state or a slower game speed will give you more options for decision making and interaction. So I think this card will be interesting, and it will inevitably show up in game 2 or 3 if we get to game 3 again. Yeah. Then Fairy Box. Fairy Box, another copy, simply so that I can maybe draw it more consistently. I'll probably not end up signing into this though. And then here comes the big card. Now, if I decide that this set is too heavily focused on equip spells, I have the Emperor's Holiday in. The Emperor's Holiday negates all equip card effects on the field. This will work against Mask of the Accursed, Ekibio, and both of my own equips. That's why I only have one copy of Ekibio. Because I feel like if it goes to a game state where I want to play Ekibio, I'll probably also consider playing the Emperor's Holiday. Because the fact that the Emperor's Holiday negates all of those effects. So for example, let's say Weebfox has a monster with United We Stand and Mage Power, and he attacks on a creature that has more base original attack than the monster that he's attacking with. I can flip Emperor's Holiday, and he crashes into my monster that's in attack. And that combined with Fairy Box make this really threatening. Like if you have 2 cards set in the back row, it's really threatening to attack right now. Because you can have Fairy Box, Magic Cylinder, or the Emperor's Holiday, for example. And I think that's really, really interesting. That's about everything that this this deck has going for it. I'm sorry that this went on for so long. I think this set is really interesting, and there's a bunch of cool cards in it, but I didn't really get to make a cool deck again, most because the fact that when I was looking at it, I couldn't find a way to properly play all the cool cards in it. I think playing the cool cards in like proper decks is way more interesting for this set. Like stuff like the Rock Spirit, Kycoo, Bazoo, and anything else really. Magic Cylinder, not so much, but Potential Tribute and whatnot. I think that was really interesting at the time, and even in hindsight, I think that might be really cool. But that about does it. Good luck with the games.
Guys and gals, welcome back, and here's the deck that we have built for today's episode. And I'm pretty unsure about this, honestly, but I think for the first time we're actually playing more monsters than spell traps combined, which might come to bite us in that butt, but we shall see. Anyways, I will once again give you a rundown of the deck and what I attempted to, or what I hope each card can achieve. So first off, we're playing 2 Bazoo the Soul Eater. It's just a 1600 beater that can grow to be up to 2500. And it's actually one of our ways of beating over literally anything, depending on the situation. And even by just banishing 2, it actually turns into a 2200 beater, which can beat over anything that isn't boosted or hasn't been tribute summoned. And then we have 2 Kycoo, the Ghost Destroyer, another good beater, just 1800, that can banish monster from your opponent's graveyard, which is good if Jeex is going to be playing Bazoo, which I expect he will, as well as just having a good body at 1800. So we're playing the 3rd copy of Bazoo and Kycoo both in this side deck as well, just in case I feel like I want to run these at more copies. But you can see most of our side deck is just extra copies of cards that we're already running, but we'll cover those when we get to them. Next one is Dark Elf, so a 2000 attack beater. Once again, it has a drawback of costing 1000 life points, having a cost of 1000 life points to attack, but it's still arguably the best thing that we have. So it's just very good. These are I will sort of skim over cards that we've seen before, so to avoid dragging this on for too long. And next we have 3 Zombiote, Zombira the Dark, 2100 once again can be summoned without tributes, and it cannot attack directly, and if it destroys monster by battle, it loses 200 attack. Even with those downsides, it's still very good. It can beat over Dark Elf, actually. It can beat over the defensive walls that we're running as well. I might as well cover those now. So 3 Humanoid Slime and 3 Spirit of the Harp. These are both 2000 defense sets that are hard to beat over. Zombie can beat over both of them, as well as Dark Elf. And even after beating over one thing, it just turns into Gemini Elf that cannot attack directly. So Gemini Elf, a 1900 beater with no drawback since it is a normal monster. And next, as I kind of alluded to in the set breakdown, we're actually playing a fusion this time. So we're playing 2 copies of Marikutai. I was contemplating playing 1 or 2. I ended up settling with 2. So during your opponent's turn, when your opponent activates a spell card, you can attribute this card to negate the activation and to destroy the spell card. It will not happen. It's at 900 monster. It can be beaten over. So if Jeex wants to fire off a Pot of Greed or anything really, you can just walk over this in the battle phase and then do so. So this is mostly here for the only fusion in our fusion deck that matters, the Last Warrior from Another Planet, which is a fusion of Marikutai and Zombie the Dark. Sorry if I'm butchering the pronunciations. And if it's special summoned, you destroy all other monsters you control, so this has to be your only monster on the field, and then neither player can summon a monster. So yeah, unless Jeex has a way to deal with this, or an already established Bazoo on the field and at least 3 monsters in his grave, he cannot really get over the Last Warrior. So that's sort of what we're going for. I also feel like, I've gotten pretty lucky in the past couple episodes, and I racked up some wins that I probably shouldn't have. We should be able to get away with playing something fun for once. Last Warrior, definitely not a fun card, but I guess like playing a fusion actually here is what I consider fun. What we're using to get him out, since the set doesn't have polymerization, which is actually something that we were contemplating, that should we allow polymerization to be added into the deck? You can add it in any set into your deck if you want to play fusions. That's something that we've been contemplating. If you have an opinion, that let us know, but for now we're going with you can only use the cards in the set. So Fusion Gate is here, so we can use it. Obviously Jeex can use it as well, but I think Last Warrior is the only thing that you can actually viably summon with Fusion Gate, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. And obviously we're only activated as once we're ready to summon. Bait Doll are our best way of getting rid of spell traps. So you target a set card in the, traps. You target a set card in the spell and trap zone, reveal the target, and then you force its activation. If it's a trap card, and then if the timing is incorrect, so for example, if I just fire it off and target turn shell tribute, you destroy the card. If it's not a trap though, it gets returned face down, and this goes back to your deck instead of going to the grave when you use it. So it's just a pretty versatile card. The big problem here is it's only for set cards, which is the one thing that I'm a little bit worried about. But because stuff like Fairy Box can be obviously flipped and then it's hard to get rid of. But for now, I don't know, but I feel like Jeex might not run Fairy Box. And even if he does, obviously, let's say 50-50. But this is mostly here because I think Torrential Tribute is probably the strongest card in the set. So this is here to deal with that. Then we're running 2 Mask of the Accursed, which equips to a monster, and then the equipped monster cannot attack. And during my standby phase, the controller of the equipped monster takes 500 burn damage. This is here to deal with like the best beaters like Gemini Elf, Dark Elf, even Bazoo, or something maybe already equipped and boosted up with like Mage Power or United We Stand. Or if Jeex happens to be on Last Warrior as well, then this is the way of actually dealing with that, because if he can't attack with it, he can't summon any monsters. Either he will just get burned out by this, if he doesn't find a way to get rid of it. And as we already established, Bait Doll doesn't get rid of spells. Fusion Gate we already covered. We're running 1 United We Stand, 1 Mage Power. I have one of each, as well as the 3rd copy of Mask in the side as well. I wasn't really sure which one will probably do more here, so I decided to just include one of each. We have these 2k walls that are not beatable over by unboosted monsters, except for Zombie in the Dark that can do it once. So I figured that's why having these boosts is actually quite nice. And we can also boost Kycoo to be able to actually inflict battle damage to use its effect with them as well. And then we have 3 Pot of Greed. Probably don't have to explain that. It just, we're running basically a 37 card deck and we get an extra on top. We have 2 Fairy Box. I was contemplating is the Magic Cylinder, which when an opponent monster declares an attack, target the attacking monster, negate the attack, and if you do, burn your opponent for it. I was contemplating on running a 3rd Fairy Box instead, but I kind of like Magic Cylinder as a potential way of just winning with all the Mask of the Accursed burn that we're doing, as well as I feel like with all these varying attack amounts and being able to boost stuff up, this might be actually a decently swingy set where this burn might end up mattering. And especially with like these beaters have decent attack stats. So Magic Cylinder can actually do a decent amount of damage. But Fairy Box just prevents your opponent from attacking if you're lucky. So whenever an opponent's monster declares an attack, you toss a coin. If you call it right, the attacking monster's attack goes to 0 until the end of the battle phase. And it has a maintenance cost of 500 life points, which isn't too bad. And finally, 3 Torrential Tribute. Like I said, probably the best card, in my opinion, of that set. When a monster is summoned, destroy all monsters on the field. Just a very devastating field wipe. As for the side deck, most of the stuff we have is just extra copies. We have 2 more Cylinder, the 3rd copy of Fairy Box, 3rd copy of Mask of the Accursed, 1 more Mage Power and United We Stand, 3rd copy of Mario Kutai, 3rd Kycoo, 3rd Bazoo. We also have 2 Mechanical Chaser here. If I feel like I really want more beaters, I can side into these. And then we have 3 of Offerings to the Doomed, as well as Diffusion. So the thing here is the only real way of for us to get rid of monsters that have been boosted up by equips or are just naturally really big, like their Last Warrior, is actually using Offerings to the Doom and removing the monster in question. So skipping your next draw phase obviously is very devastating, but in a way, in a situation where we're basically on a clock and we are on a stalemate where we can't do anything, this can be like our final, okay, let's just go for Offerings to the Doomed. And because Last Warrior is so devastating, can easily win games by itself, running 3 Offerings, I figured I literally just have a Diffusion here as a way of getting rid of the Last Warrior. And obviously the second part doesn't matter because Fusion Gate banishes, but this is literally here just as a target removal for the Last Warrior if need comes. But yeah, I'm actually pretty excited about the set, as well as like pretty interested to see what Jeex has whipped up, because I feel like there's a lot of like room for creativity with this set with how many like different good cards there are, as well as like how many question mark cards there are to see like how to deal with stuff. But that is my deck for the episode. I hope you enjoy the matches, and I will see you in the duel zone. Guys and gals, welcome back to another episode of Historic Yu-Gi-Oh! Learning Journey, and this time we are here with Tournament Pack 3 and Labyrinth of Nightmare. Probably one of the more interesting sets so far that we've had, or what do you think, Jeex?
I think this set is all over the place and still really cool.
That's a really good way to put it. We were talking about it a little bit before this, but you said you made 2 different decks, and one of them was 60 cards. So
yeah, 60 card stacks deck, and I ended up not going with that.
Okay,
and
gotcha.
Decided to go with the more like control-y high value deck. I guess I don't know what to describe this as, but it's probably just gonna end up as a Gemini Elf beatdown at the end of the day.
That might be so, or Dark Elf.
Oh, true.
Since it can beat over, but yeah, we will definitely see. But I think we are ready to get into the game, so best of luck. Damn. Scissor strat seems to not be working out, huh?
Sorry, I'm a rock thrower. I play Will It Kill every weekend, every month, I mean.
Okay, gotcha. Well, good luck.
Good luck. I go standby main, and I just set 2 cards, and I'm gonna pass it.
All right. I'll take the turn. We'll also go standby main, and I think... Huh. Yeah, I think we'll actually go with just a normal summon of a Dark Elf. We were just talking about it. Is that okay?
That's okay. That is okay.
All right. And then what we shall do... Oh, this is actually interesting. Because I'm like thinking...
Do I equip this as a mage power and unite we stand to the Dark Elf to possibly make it huge?
Yeah, I think what we will actually do is just go battle phase.
Okay.
And go out of the battle phase and
Okay. I see.
set a card in the back row and pass it back to you.
That's fairly interesting. I will not lie. I will set a card. And yeah. I just need to collect my thoughts for a moment here and try to figure out what spell trap removal there was in this set again. Because I forgot we were talking about it earlier, but I forgot. Well, I'm just gonna pass it over to you.
All right, I will graciously accept. Standby main. And interesting. Yeah, you know what? I'm actually just gonna go straight to end phase and just pass it back to you.
Oh,
no
okay,
cards here.
That's fairly surprising. I go standby main, and I'm gonna set another card, and yeah, then I will pass it over to you.
We were hyping up the set, and what it ends up being is
no.
just setting cards in. That's it.
This is problematic. Problematic behavior already.
Draw standby main. And yeah, you know what? I'm pretty good with what we're doing here.
You're just gonna
we can main two.
No.
I said one in the back row this time, but then I'll just pass it back.
Okay,
I attempt.
take my turn.
Okay, good. I got scared for a moment there.
I.
This is an interesting game on our hands.
I flip summon Tornado Bird. Flip summon Tornado Bird.
All right. And
Okay.
huh.
Is this okay?
Yeah, it is okay.
I
And
bounce both of your spell traps.
Yep. So these go back to my hand.
Yeah. Then I'm gonna activate Offerings to the Doomed.
All right.
I'm gonna kill your Dark Elf.
Dark Elf to the grave, and you miss your next draw.
I mixed my next draw. Oh, sorry, I forgot to go to Mayface one. Sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's perfectly fine. We're getting better at those, though.
Yeah, we're surprisingly consistent about it now.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna normal summon Gemini Elf.
Yep, and that's.
And I'm gonna attack for
3,000.
3K.
Yeah, I will take the 3.
Okay, then we go Mayface 2, and I'm gonna set another card and pounce.
Alrighty. Let's accept the turn. And then what we will do. Huh. That's actually an interesting play. I think what we'll do is we will start off by normaling this Zombira the Dark.
Ah, yes. Zombira the Dark.
It's a 21,000 beater. It's just a Gemini Elf that can destroy something first and then become a Gemini Elf that can do it directly. So it's not too bad, actually.
No, yeah,
Yeah,
I can totally see it.
That's fine.
That's fine.
All right, then we will. Yeah, we will go battle phase and actually swing into this face down.
Ah, I activate my trap card.
Magic Cylinder.
Fairy Box.
Oh, all right.
And Fairy Box says, I flip a coin. I'm gonna call heads.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if it lands on heads,
Well,
which
it
it did
didn't.
not, your monster's attack would go to 0.
Yeah, and it's until
Alas.
battle phase. Okay.
Yeah. Flip some or flip. Yeah, it's Earthbound Spirit.
All right. So
That's fine.
It's gone, and now this card loses 200. I'll just mark the losses with the thingy.
Yeah.
Then we go main 2, and what we are going to do is we will use Mask of the Accursed targeting this Gemini Elf.
My Gemini Elf? No way, dude.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
All right, and all right, what are the? Yeah, you know what? We will just then set, and actually, you know, that'll be enough. So I'll set 2 more in the back row and pass it back.
I go standby and I lose 1,000 life points.
It's this Mask of the Accursed is my standby phase. So
Oh, yours. So,
yeah.
I
So
see. That's weird.
if you're keeping Fairy Box, it's only this turn.
Yeah, I keep Fairy Box. I'm gonna activate Spiritualism, targeting your Mask of the Accursed.
All right, and I will return that to my hand.
Oh wait, oh yeah, I forgot. This is supposed to be at the top of the deck. Because whenever I take a turn, it automatically draws a card, right?
Oh yeah, it does.
Okay, so I'm not gonna do a play here, which is a real cool play, by the way. I'm gonna ram this thing into your Zombera.
So you
gonna
make it weaker.
Yeah, I'm gonna lose 800 life points.
Oh, before you do that,
Yep.
I'm gonna flip up my Fairy Box.
Okay.
We can both play that game, and then
Yeah.
you can possibly. I'll just go heads as well, so it's easier.
Yeah.
Okay.
Heads. Okay.
So instead, you're taking an extra.
In response, I'm just gonna pop the Zombera.
Well, the Zombira is gone.
Yeah. The Zombera is fucking gone. And then I redeclare.
Yes, and
You
once
can-
again, it's right. Yeah, it's once again we
Yeah,
can
yeah.
attempt to Fairy Box. And I'm just that good.
Okay, second time.
You know, I think I'll just throw another heads. I'd rather not take damage.
Let's
I would have
go.
rather seen those be the other way around, but...
Okay. And then we just pass. And I'm not drawing next turn either.
You are really offering to the doomed, huh? Alright.
Yeah.
Well, this is... Actually... Oh. Okay, this might get real hairy, huh? Stand by main.
Yeah.
How scared am I? Really scared, actually. You've used 2 offerings already. 1 spiritualism. Okay, this might be really weird. But, yeah, let's start with the normal of Bazoo, the Soul Eater.
You gotta pay 500, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I am keeping the fare box.
Yeah. Assuming that you're keeping it.
Yes, I am. I will...
I don't see a reason not to keep it. But...
Yeah, that's very true. And then we will activate Mage Power, targeting Bazoo. So that's a 1500 boost right now.
Yeah.
I will activate Fusion Gate. So that's 2k more. Yep. And, what else?
You're gonna banish 2. Make it 4.2k.
Man, Fairy Box is scary. Yeah, actually, I will Mask of the Curse, the Gemini again. I'll put it here so it's easy to track. Actually, never mind. Can I do this? Never mind. It doesn't matter. You have 1 card in your hand.
And I'm not gonna draw a card next turn.
Yeah. I'm still like... Because if it's monster... It's a 50-50 with Fair Box, which is the thing. And... This is so stupid. Like, it's so dumb. Yeah, that's great. I'm doing it. Mask of the Curse on the bird as well.
What the fuck?
Don't worry about it. I'm passing the turn back to you. And the Bazoo is currently boosted by 3k, so it's 4600.
Why can't I accept this turn? Why is this lacking?
Wait, why did it go? It says start turn for me.
I can't do anything.
Oh yeah, it's for whatever reason. Escape. Let me just put this back on my deck, and I can just pass it.
I'll just.
I can just. Yeah, I can just pass it back to you.
I'll just do that and yeah, I also pay 500 for the fairy box just in case that wasn't expected.
Yep.
Yeah, just change these 2 to defense position and I pass.
All right.
Now I get to start drawing again.
Yeah, and back to me. You take 1,000 from both of the masks. Oh, that's funny. And I will let this fairy box go. And that's so funny. It's so funny, but it's also...
Are you gonna go for Zombera and grief yourself? Not Zombera, Last Warrior.
Yeah, no, we're just doing this. We're going Bazoo in the Gemini Elf. Attempt to swim.
I'm gonna flip 4 heads.
Okay, I think the Gemini Elf is dead.
Fuck.
Let's check. Wait. Okay, it doesn't matter at all. But now I'm wondering, since Fairy Box makes the attack become 0 and equips are constant increases, how does it actually work? Because I
would assume that it just drops it to 0, like total.
Because like
I'm not certain. Because in Vanguard there's a similar thing, where a card gains 2,000 power permanently, but if you drop its power to 1, it means it lost like
the base power of the card plus 2,000 power. So if it loses the 2,000 bonus, it's minus 1,909.
Gotcha.
So I'd imagine that it's a similar case where the permanent boosts are considered as well, same as MTG.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Cause like
So the
that's what
minus
I
is.
was. I'm interested. I'll quickly see if I can find anything. But because I was like assuming that's also how it works. How would I word this? If a monster's attack is constantly boosted but gets dropped to 0. That's a weird way to word. Setting a monster's attack to 0 is a continuous boost. Perfect. This is exactly. Post attack. With attack modification, best specific if the effect set to value was continuous effect, a special continuous apply added would reapply over it. For example, if a comment was equipped with it would have 400 attack. If the effect set the attack to 0 was a one-time deal, often called lingering in the context of stat modifications as a linkurible, the continuous addition would not reapply. So if comment 9 had set to 0 linkurible, that's basically the same thing as fairy box. So that's the answer. So it works as we expected it to. Well, today we learned something, or reaffirmed something, I guess.
Ooh.
I did.
Yeah.
And yeah, then I'll pass it back to you. And you actually get to draw the card. Oh yeah, you can disable the auto draw there. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Are you keeping fairy box?
I am keeping fairy box. I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to change my
Scary.
tornado bird to attack position.
I do not like that.
Then I will set this card face down, and I pass it over to you.
Well, that's ominous.
We're gambling tonight.
That is very ominous. And yeah, you lost 500 from Mask.
Oh yeah, you mean to remove the other one, right? Because there's no more target for it.
Oh yeah, that's how equips work. Good call.
So that's minus 500 attack.
That is true. It's currently only boosted by 2k, so you can easily beat over it with anything that's like more than 3,400, which is very easy in this set.
Realistic.
Mm-hmm.
Sure wish I had an offerings to the doomed.
Bro, there is no way you're finding your third already. I would be pissed.
Same. I would also like spiritualism and whatnot, which would also help me get over this right now.
Okay, I'll be honest. I did not expect Fairy Box to be this much of a problem when I was making this deck.
This was a one-off Fairy Box, by the way.
Oh, you gotta be shitting me.
I'm so glad I drew it.
Well,
now I get to gamble.
I mean, this is sort of gambling. I'm a gambling man as well, but I'm not willing to go all the way on the burb. So I'll just poke into this.
Okay,
Hopefully, don't whiff.
Heads. Yeah,
so,
400 damage, baby.
Oh, you are playing Gillosaurus. All right.
Hell yeah.
It is. Bro, setting Gillosaurus is so funny.
There's a reason why I did that, because I'm afraid that, like, if you decide, oh, this is a nuclear option, I don't like this, everything's gone.
Yeah, that's fair. Fair as well.
Even though it would also resolve my issues here, I think it's better to try to get another card, which is better for this.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's much more than I can do here, so we'll just pass it back to you. I can't wait for you to actually summon something off my fusion gate, since I can see you have something in your extra, which makes me mildly worried.
It is maybe the final warrior from some other thingamajig.
Damn,
Perhaps.
I would explain 3. I'm running more stuff here, but
I didn't bother putting more than one card in there, so
that's fair.
And then I forgot to take it out after I took the Zumbura package out.
Gotcha. I like just having something with if there are like fusion. I just like throwing them in there for fun. But here, when there are actually some cards that I can summon, Okay.
Yep, that's it.
Oh, that's scary. That is scary.
I'm just waiting.
Now, how much of a gambling man am I is the thing.
It's a 50-50. Come on, man. It's not that bad. I mean, how often can you lose a 50-50, dude?
I basically lose instantly the second I lose the flip.
Yeah.
But also, like, burning you for 500 per turn isn't the greatest.
Oh, that I just lost 509 life points.
Oh, that's an interesting amount to lose. Oh,
Yeah.
the +9, baby.
Hell yeah.
I mean, there's no way you're not keeping Fairy Box, because without it, you're 100% toast. So what we're doing is what us in the industry like to call "fuck it, we ball." Summon
we
Gemini
ball.
Elf.
Oh, okay, I'll activate my face down torrential tribute.
Okay, I don't think you have any in the background other than the Fairy Box, but you know,
No.
I can respect cheating. You know. Another question
Set
here
my
is,
monsters in the back row.
now what else do I want to do here is the question.
You
And the
wanna
answer is
go
nothing. Fuck it, we
Heads.
ball.
Heads.
Give me that 500 damage, baby. Thank you. Okay. This is why gambling is good. Sometimes, kids. As long as you're not
Never
playing with
gamble.
money. Don't
Never
gamble with
gamble.
money. Gamble with card games in cases where you're attacking it's a 50-50 chance to succeed. Those cases you definitely should gamble. And now the question is, do I swing here? It's
I mean, go for it.
a 36.
If you do it, you go game.
36.
If you win.
Yeah, it's literally like. Actually, wait. 36. I would be 339.
Next turn.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't be game, so I think I'll pass on that for now, and I will just. Actually,
And you will.
I will set another card in the back row and pass it back to you.
Okay.
Are you keeping fair boxes nowadays?
Oh man. Buddy old pal.
I mean, I personally, I think you should have let
buddy
it.
old
Bro, there is no fucking way. I mean, I'm assuming Bazoo is gone, right?
Bazoo is fucking gone.
Bazoo is dead, and so is this a Mage Power.
Then I will summon Gemini.
Oh, yeah.
Torrential?
Yeah.
Torrential.
I have to Torrential here.
Yeah.
It sucks, but.
Goodbye, Jojo. And then we just pass.
And now, I hope I draw something actually good.
Mask also, yeah. Watch them.
Oh, I mean, that's a pretty good draw, I won't lie. But it cannot attack directly. So we will still summon the Zambira and actually what am I afraid of? It's 2100. Yeah, no, I'll just pass it back.
Okay.
And are you keeping the fairy box?
I am keeping the fairy box. Then.
I'd rather you not, honestly.
Then I will normal summon Bazoo, the Soul Eater.
Oh, that is.
Then I will
awful.
banish
Before
monsters.
you banish, since the banish is, I will do this because I am toast if I don't. Man, that sucked.
And then it's your turn.
And oh, that's so funny. I mean, no, there is no fucking way. No, I will set a monster and pass it to you.
Okay. I stand and draw. I will, in fact, not be keeping the fairy box anymore.
Oh.
And then I will normal summon Dark Elf. And I attack your face down. And I lose 1,000 life points.
Well, luckily for me,
That's a
It's
2K
a
wall.
2K wall. I am finally
No.
playing them, baby. We're doing it
He's
live.
evolving.
And yeah, draw for turn. Oh, baby. It's Pot of Greed. I will take the top 2 cards from my deck and draw them into my hand.
Okay, so where are my pot of greeds?
And
My pot of greeds.
alright. Then we will normal summon Gemini Elf. We will declare Spirit of the Harp to attack position. We will united we stand the Gemini Elf. And with the power bestowed upon me by duel monsters, I am going to attack Gemini Elf into Dark Elf. And it's 3,500. And we will attack directly with Spirit of the Harp for game 1.
Where is my pot of greed?
Holy shit.
I got 2 dark elves at the top of my deck. What the fuck? GG.
Whoa. Oh, yeah, that was a game. I'm gonna need some ways of dealing with Fairy Box. But yeah, we will see you after sighting. Yeah, I think with that we are good to go.
Can't believe I'm losing again. Can't believe I'm gonna go 0-2 again. No way.
Do not curse it. I don't like your cursing like, oh no.
I'm gonna go standby main, and I'm going to summon Gemini Elf and set 2 cards face down. And pass it over to you.
Right, I am going to stand by main. I am going to... set a card.
Uh-huh.
And go main 2, and I will activate everyone's favorite Mask of the Accursed, targeting your Gemini Elf.
Oh, man, that's perfectly acceptable.
And then yeah, I think with that I'll just pass.
Okay. Oh my fucking
Do
god.
not Pot of Greed.
I activate Pot of Greed, which lets me take 2 cards from the top of my deck and add them to my hand.
Yep,
And then
that's what it does.
I normal summon Kycoo, the Ghost Destroyer. And I activate Mage Power, targeting Kycoo, the Ghost Destroyer.
Yep.
Then I set 2 cards,
Jesus
and
Christ.
I have 5 cards, and I make sure these 2K wall dies.
You have made sure that the 2K wall dies.
And then we will pass the turn.
Well, you take 500, which is the good news.
Take 500.
And what is the better news is that I activate Pot of Greed to draw 2 cards from my deck.
Look at this baby.
And okay, so what the fuck are we dealing with here? I mean, you know,
That's a big monster.
you know what they say. Fuck it, we ball. I will
Fuck.
bait doll. This set card.
Haha. It is the strongest set card. Magic Cylinder.
Well, I mean that's less power for mage power, but
Minus 500.
man, yeah, that's a big ass Kycoo. I'm not gonna lie.
Yep.
I think we'll just set and pass it back. So it's boosted by 2K, so it's 3,800. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a lot.
I'm gonna activate Spiritualism on the Mask of the Accursed. No, actually, no, not that. This thing.
Oh.
I'm stupid. I
Alright.
almost griefed myself.
Yep, that goes back to hand.
That goes back to hand, and then I'm gonna attack.
Yep, and luckily you target that
again.
one. We will flip a fairy box and hopefully,
Oh,
hopefully hit it.
Potion.
Suspension is building.
Where's the coin?
It's between the dice and the.
No, you're supposed to.
Oh yeah, it's actually true. I forgot. My bad. Yeah, heads.
Yeah, heads.
Shit.
Yeah, never. You'll never win. Damn, another 2K all. I see.
Please give me something. Oh shit. Oh yeah. You take another 500.
Oh yeah, I forgot to take 500 last turn too, right?
No.
I remember.
Yeah, you took it. Yeah, you took it.
Damn, I'm too good at this game. Damn. I remember everything clearly.
Bruh. This sucks. Yeah, I think, oh yeah, and I am supposed to definitely pay the 500 for a fairy box.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah. True.
Oh, I hate the position I'm in. I'm not gonna lie. What does it achieve here realistically? You're in top decking mode, so what's the... Man. Yeah, I think what we are doing is... Yeah, we will set a monster. We will main 2, we will set a back row, and that'll do it.
Okay. I attack the face down. Is this not pot of green magic cylinder? Or do you want to flip? Because if you flip, you can't magic cylinder anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think fairy box is... I mean, fairy box is a mandatory flip anyway.
It is? Oh.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm going for it. I'm thinking I'm gonna whiff here. I'm gonna whiff twice in a row. So we will fire off.
Well,
actually, wait.
You're forgetting
yeah,
because I just take people again negate the attack.
Yeah, that's actually true. And I was, anyways, like it's obviously I can chain this in a way where you actually take damage before. So never mind. But yeah.
And then the attack ends and nothing happens.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's the best case scenario we can take for burn damage. So, oh, that is an incredible draw, actually. Yeah, we will.
Oh, I forgot to set a card. Can I just set?
Yeah. Go for it. Go for it.
Thank
Absolutely.
you.
Yeah, I will Mask of the Accursed, the Kycoo, and keep my fairy box still.
Okay.
Oh yeah, and start of my turn, you're taking the 500 from.
Yep.
Gemini Elf. And then, just in case you happen to find some shenanigans, I will also set another card and then just pass back to you.
Okay.
You're definitely using something from your back row, right?
What? Yeah, I am. I'm just almost left the page by accident. I'm just thinking.
Yeah, luckily you can still reconnect, but
Yeah. I'll just pass.
Right, and you take 1,000.
In response to the 1,000 trigger, I activate the Emperor's Holiday and I negate all equipped card effects on the field.
Yep, that's pretty good. That is a pretty good indeed. So then I go standby main. So now Kycoo is back to being an 1800, which is good.
Nice.
But I lose the burn damage, which is bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we... Actually, yeah, I didn't pay for fairy box yet, so let me do that. I think we're doing this, so let's flip summon Gemini Elf.
Okay.
Let's... any response to that?
Nope.
Okay. Let's go battle phase, and let's poke you for 100.
Magic cylinder.
I will take 19.
Yes, yes.
And then... what are the odds, right? I mean, do I want to... fuck it. Greed has been the name of the game. Fuck it, we ball. I will flip summon Mario Kutai. Is that fine? Is it?
So it's gonna have to point out if you're gonna summon. Oh, you can't even summon Last Warrior, but if you're gonna summon Last Warrior, you can use face down cards for.
Sure.
You do know that, right?
Now I know.
Yeah, that's fine.
I will activate Fusion Gate. And I am going to banish from my hand Zombie in the Dark, and from my field Mario Kutai.
Yeah.
And I will special summon the Last Warrior from Another Planet, which will destroy my Gemini Elf with its effect.
I activate torrential trigger.
Yeah, I figured it was probably there, but like there is not gonna be another situation where I get to, you know, go for it. So I gotta go for it, you know. And then it's back to you. I figured like if I back row, one of them has to be torrential, but you know, it's not gonna come up again. I gotta go for it.
I'm gonna set one card and I'm gonna pass.
Now, how greedy do I want to be? And the answer is yes. This fairy box is gone.
Oh damn! I swear if you fucking drew a card just now that just you summon this card and you're like, hey, you attack your twice and you lose, I'll be very mad.
Oh wait, I've been a dumbass.
What's up?
I have a bait doll in my deck. Graveyard, which is supposed to be in my deck. So I will put it here so you know I put it back to my
True.
deck. And the reason why I noticed, hey, that's an effect, because fuck it, we ball. Fire out this. It's another torrential.
I don't know why, but I can't see anything.
Oh.
It's Offerings to the Doomed. I target a face-up monster in the field, but it doesn't work because it's...
Yeah, because it's... Okay,
yeah.
Offerings, middle. It's not like I'm gonna play around, but hey, I'm gonna draw a monster next turn, you know? If you draw a monster, I'm gonna be sad.
Do Tornado Bird.
Oh, that bastard.
I'm gonna swing with Tornado Bird.
I think 1100.
Yeah.
And
is this a Gemini Elf? Spirit of the Harp? Humanoid Slime?
set a card and turn?
That's so. I have to attack into Take 900.
Yeah.
And then I pass.
All right.
Oh, I need to set a card.
Oh yeah, go for it. T set? Pass?
Okay, I start my turn. I draw. I activate offerings to the doomed.
Yeah, I wonder what you're targeting here.
I wonder. Yeah.
Okay.
No draws next turn. I attack for 1.1k.
I flip fairy box.
Okay,
I
okay.
flip for heads as always.
Yeah, yeah.
I hate life and take a 1100.
This is now a 1.6k beater. Amazing.
Ooh. Okay. We go here, and
Do you pay 500?
You have 2 back row. Yeah, I'm gonna pay the 500 and then summon Kycoo. Is that okay?
I'm gonna have to say no.
Yeah, I mean I got 2 torrentials last game, so I guess it makes sense. You get 2 now.
Could I draw
Yeah.
Pog here? Thanks.
I would rather you not.
Can I get turn? Because for some reason this is acting weird again. There we go. I set a card, and I pass it over to you. I don't get why this keeps lagging sometimes.
Yeah. Do I keep the box here? Like
And do you keep
at
the
this
box?
point, it's like, do I keep the box?
I mean, it's gonna buy you 3 turns possibly, right?
It hurts. I'm gonna let it go.
Okay.
500 at this point it's too much. I will set a monster and pass it back to you.
Okay. I take my turn. Again, it's not functioning
Yeah, it
properly for some
immediately
reason.
went back to my turn, but it's whatever.
Yeah, I straight up like can't see anything.
Please, Dueling
So
Boot,
I
don't
just-
die on us. Let us finish the set.
I can't pass right now either.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. If you're wanting to pass, I can just
it's
start.
your
the
turn.
Okay, gotcha.
I'll pass. Yeah.
Yeah, it just auto pass last
God, I
turn.
hate this.
Okay. What am I afraid of here? Everything, really? Oh, it's so bad. This potential is so bad. It's... What does it do here, really, is the question.
What do you mean? What does Torrential do in this situation? It clears your board so I can attack with a 1.9k beater.
Yeah, I think I go for it. I will normal Zombira. Is that okay?
That's fine.
Thank God. And now, like, whatever that is, Zombira can walk over it. But if you said Gilosaurus, oh, there's no way. You have 2. You're gonna draw a 3rd one. Yeah, no. I'll just go. Do I? I lose the magic cylinder, which is the shitty part here. You've used 2.
I've used 2.
Though. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I keep fucking. I have another these in my. I do not want these to be drawn, but yeah, I fucked up again. I didn't put it here. I apologize. Man. Actually, yeah, I think I say fuck it, Weeball. Are you fine with me doing this?
Sure.
Then Zombira swings into face down.
Well,
Is it Gilosaurus?
it's time for Fairy Box game.
Okay.
Heads. Every time.
Let's go, thank God.
No!
Yeah, I was dead. Okay, so... And now here is where this really actually matters. I would very much like for this to connect.
Heads.
Please.
Heads.
Okay, yeah, because that's another, like, extra 2 turns of Fairy Box, which... Yeah, not fun. And you're gonna have 3 cards. Yeah, back to you.
Yeah.
Please no monsters.
Keep the 500.
Yeah.
I normal summon
No.
Dark Elf.
Yeah.
And I attack your zombie and pay 1,000.
You take 1,000, I take 100. Zombira is gone.
Yeah. And then it's your turn.
No, what?
Now, I must point out that there's only one card that should save you here. And that's Offerings to the Doomed.
If I...
And you have to win the 50-50 too.
If
so.
I draw Zombira and win the 50-50, that's another way to do it.
True.
So, I am once again hard on the cards. I'm not asking for much. But I am asking to win two 50-50s as well as to draw a 2 out of 24. From my deck to my hand, I draw.
Maybe you'll drop Hog. My man's got Monster Reborn.
I mean, there is... Is there any way... Any world where I don't go for it? Is the question. You're not going to be able to keep Fairy Box. But, okay. Normal summon Bazoo the Soul Eater. And now the shit.
Yeah.
Actually, wait. Yeah, no. Yeah. Okay, so I do have this play because...
I forgot about Bazoo.
Okay, now this is where it gets interesting. I will banish from my graveyard Spirit of the Harp, and Kycoo to boost my Bazoo to 2,500.
Come on, man.
Which basically means that this coin flip settles the game.
No, it's literally Yu-Gi-Oh!
Ladies,
It's League of Legends!
ladies and gentlemen, fuck it, we ball.
Heads!
Show me the tails, baby. And, yep, let's go. Game 3.
Fuck you!
I mean, I wouldn't have it any other way. Yep. I think this is what it all comes down to.
Oh no, I go
Game
second? No!
3. Yeah, I would like to go first. And good luck.
Good luck.
Start off, Pot of Greed.
Oh, come on!
Then we will
summon Marioka, or what the fuck it's called, and just sit on that to prevent me from playing Pot of Greed next turn.
You know, imagine I open the mats to summon Last Warrior.
That would be silly.
That would actually, like, be good.
Oh, but I'm gonna have to stop you right there and point out that setting is not summoning.
Yeah. It prevents flip summons, but yeah, like, obviously if they're standing there, I'm still gonna have to swing over them, but yeah, I will actually, yeah. You wanted to say something?
And yeah, if you flip them up, they can be changed to attack position that you can attack with them.
Yeah. Yeah, because like flip and flip summon are different things. That's a thing I had to learn the hard way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'll just do a humble set a T and pass back to you on that.
Stand by main. I'm gonna set to. I'm gonna body check you just in case.
Yep, it is a 2k wall.
Okay, I lose 100.
Huge.
Very huge. Now I'm gonna play Vengeful Bog Spirit.
All right, we're slowing it down a bit, huh? Gotcha. So,
But sick and
what's the
tired
verdict?
of my guy top deck is on beer and be like, "Ooh, I swing."
Yeah, exactly. I think I'll just set, and it's everyone's favorite. It's back. I will Mask of the Accursed, the Gemini Elf.
Boy, I love Mask of the Accursed.
We all
it's
do.
my favorite.
We all do, don't we? Yeah, I will just pass back to you on that.
I set one card. I summon Kycoo, and again I body check you.
Yep.
For minus 2k.
Yeah, 200.
200. Sorry, yeah. And then I'll pass it over to you, and I lose 500.
Yep. And oh wait, you can't body check me because you have your box spirit. So.
Oh, sorry, I forgot. I'm stupid. I'm so used to playing Yu-Gi-Oh. Yu-Gi-Oh and not like Magic.
It's all good. I was cheating with the bait dolls being in my grave last game. So.
True. We also cheated out with Nobleman of Crossout in the last set, by the way.
I feel sometimes you just gotta do a little bit of cheating,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll next normal a Zombie in the Dark.
Oh, which cannot attack this turn.
It cannot attack this turn. That is true. But what can attack is my Spirit of the Harp. But I will just elect not to do that, and will instead pass it back to you.
Standby main, and I activate Mage Power on Kycoo.
Yep, that's a 2500 bonus. So what, like 38, 40? Wait, what is it?
It's 2.5k, so it's 4.3k, right?
Yeah. Magic Cylinder for 4300.
Oh, that's a lot. That's a whole lot. Now, oh no, that's not worth it. That's not worth it.
All right. Oh yeah, that's scary.
It's kind of scary.
But something else that is also scary. Take 500 from Mask of the Accursed because it's a fun card. And I think I might as well fire off the second Pot of Greed, if you don't mind.
What the fuck? Yeah. Okay.
Draw 2. Oh my god, that is filthy. That is absolutely filthy. Yeah, I think I'll just set this Zombera to defense for, no real reason. So 4,300, huh? Yeah, that's a lot. We will set, and pass it back to you. Good luck.
You will. Oh, I can't do that.
Yeah, Bug Spirit, baby. And
fuck.
Do you want to swing with the other?
No, I do not.
Oh, why is that? Oh, well,
I don't know. I have a feeling that it's probably not in my best interest.
And would you like to take 500 points of damage?
I will take 500 points of damage. Nice.
And this is so silly. Yeah, stand by main. Do I go for it? Is it worth? Is a question. Honestly, I think yeah. This is so wacky. I will fire off United's We Stand. Actually targeting my Zombera, because it gives its defense as well, to make it a 2100 defender as well.
Okay.
Then I will set a card. And yeah, this is fun Yu-Gi-Oh! We're playing. I'll pass it back to you. This is an interesting position we're in. I don't like the silence.
Think.
Gotcha. I mean, I don't blame you. But, like, what are the odds I'm running 2 Magic Cylinder and I have another one set in my background?
I normal summon Bazoo.
Yep, that is fine.
This is okay.
Yes.
I try to attribute.
Yep, that is perfectly fine. So, everything to the grave. So, Dark Elf, Zambira, Spirit of the Harp, and Humanoid Slime.
And Mask of the Accursed, and you know we stand.
Oh, yeah, true. These are also gone.
Okay. And then I'll...
All right. Well, the Vengeful Box Spirit is pretty good here.
It's pretty good. Pretty good card.
I think I have actually Life Despair. So what we'll actually do is normal Bazoo. Is that okay?
That is okay.
And isn't it weird? It's kind of weird. You have 1 card in your hand, though.
My guy about to pump his Bazoo
Yeah.
as high as he can, and then he's gonna Magic Cylinder me when I play the card in my hand with another monster and run over.
Okay, you know what? I will banish from my grave Spirit of the Harp and Humanoid Slime to pump my Bazoo into a 2200 until the end of your turn.
Yeah.
So now, realistically, it can't get beaten over by anything. So, back to you.
I stand by main. I set a card. And then I set this other card and I pass it to you.
I mean, I think I just gotta put you to gotta have it, right? I would like to banish from my graveyard Dark Elf and Zombie the Dark. So Bazoo is back to being a 2200 beater. And then one of those 4 better be Magic Cylinder or Fair Box.
There it is.
Yep. And I will take
2 points.
22. Then we go main 2. And now this is where I wonder if I want to be greedy or not. Because if I set something and then normal flip it, it's flip summon triggers when Vengeful Bog. But if you have another torrential set, that is awful. I've been greeted today. It's not like I'm gonna change now. I'm gonna normal Zambira. Anything on that?
Fuck. No.
All right, and back to you.
Stand by.
Hey, Zambira can't do that directly, so.
True.
And I have no more mats for Bazoo.
I set a card.
Yep.
Hello, can you work video game? No, okay. I set a card.
All right. Standby a main. Draw standby main. And I am going to fire off offerings to the doom targeting your set.
I'm afraid you can't do that.
Oh, it's a face of monster. Got it.
You can destroy one of your face-up monsters. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I think I will elect not to do that.
I'll
Actually, wait.
Oh my god, he's going big brain. He's gonna summon something. He's gonna pop it. No, that's worthless. Why would you do this?
You know, I think we'll
You need a little more.
Yeah, we'll just actually set this. We'll go battle phase, and we will swing Zambira into this. Probably a Tico.
Aha!
Or a bird.
I'm gonna bounce this and my own card to my hand.
All right.
Okay.
So the middle one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Zombira loses. Why am I doing that? This one, 200, and then
Yep.
Bazoo for 16.
I'm gonna activate Skull Lair.
All right.
I'm gonna banish up to 4, or I'm gonna banish 4 creatures from my graveyard.
That's actually sick.
I'm gonna kill Bazoo.
Bazoo to the grave.
That's why I torrential, because I knew I have Skull Lair, and I knew I have Vengeful Bog Spirit, so I can slow the game down to a fucking.
Oh, it's a
crawl.
continuous as well. That's actually sick.
Yeah.
That is cool. Yeah. Then we will. Yeah, I mean, what's the world? I don't think there's a world. Normal Gemini Elf.
You're gonna summon 2 monsters in 1 turn?
Yes, I would like to do that very much.
You can also use the offerings to the Doom on your Gemini Elf if you want.
Yeah. I'm gonna set definitely not the thing you bounce as well as my offerings to the Doom. They could be like anything, you know? And then
Suspicious. Start turn.
back to you.
I'm gonna fucking lose it, dude.
I like hearing that. I will say that much. That's a good start.
I just pass.
All right. Stand by main.
There's an argument to be made that I should have played this card, but at the same time, it's like playing this card literally gets me nothing right now.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think I will flip summon the Humanoid Slime. Is that okay?
It has summoning sickness.
Yeah, I know. And then I will normal now this Gemini Elf.
Okay.
Anything on those?
No.
Gotcha. Then I would like to just set the last card in my hand, and Gemini Elf and Humanoid can't attack this turn, and Zombie can't attack directly, so I will just elect to pass it back.
Well, this is a problem, by the way. I can normal summon the elf here, and I can just sit on the elf.
Yeah.
But then you can just pop at it with offerings.
Yeah, so one of those was also what you were already sitting on. So, I mean, I will just obviously do this. Anything on that?
No.
Yeah. Then, I mean, it doesn't matter really. I guess in case you have a fairy box, we'll do it this way. So, we...
Haha! You activated my trap card.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else? One of those is bait, I know for sure, but what's the other one?
Haha!
And
then I activate my second trap card. The Emperor's Holiday.
Oh no. And this is a bait,
Got
right?
both of them. And this is Torrential Tribune.
Oh. Well, I'm really glad. One of the things that I was just considering is like, hey, just throw this in. Thank God I didn't do that.
Yeah, that would have been funny.
Well, then,
Fucking hell.
bro, we had 2 super sick games, and then we get this where you literally draw jack shit. The Scholar play was sick though.
That was the only thing I had going for this game. I'm kind of baffled how you managed to draw 2 pot of greeds, and my first pot of greed was 20 cards into the deck.
Yeah, when was my next pot? Okay, if it makes you feel any better, my last pot of greed was not the third last card in my deck.
Feel any better? Dude, how did I draw both of those? I literally have 2 of them in the deck.
I would say I'm really glad that I ran so many monsters this set. I think like at least my initial deck list was 21 monsters, 19 spell traps.
I think I have maybe 19.
Gotcha.
Like almost half of the deck
Yeah, pretty
is
decent amount
monsters.
still.
Yeah. And I kind of got griefed by the fact that my 2K walls weren't that plentiful. I figured I'd rather run Disruption and more offensive.
Oh wait, you were
Because I figured,
running
oh,
Spirit. Wait.
yeah, because originally the idea was I have Rock Spirit in the deck. And Rock Spirit is effectively a 2K wall in attack.
Gotcha.
So I can banish Earth from the graveyard to special summon it.
Yeah, okay,
and that's
yeah,
why
then
I had
that
Earthbound
makes
Spirits.
sense. Yeah, I was gonna say, because I was just like, hey, these are both 800 2000, so they're obviously better than Earthbound, and I figured like running a third 2K wall, it would then be like too slow. But yeah, I definitely got lucky this game, because I'll be honest, like I had no way of dealing with Fairy Box, I had no way of dealing with Emperor's Holiday, no way of dealing with Scholar after it hit the field, but obviously it's really resource hungry, so it's not as big of a deal. But yeah, I definitely underestimated the trap cards this set, apart from Torrential, I will say that much.
The trap cards are really good, but it requires like a specific kind of deck. Like the reason why I did considered the 60 card deck was Skull Lair, because you can play such a slow and like methodical game with Skull Lair and all the other stacks cards in conjunction with Magic Cylinder, Torrential Tribute, and Spiritualism and whatnot.
Yeah,
You can just kind of grind the game out to a point where you will almost always have enough materials to pop every single level 4 that hits the field.
yeah.
So,
And
2 fairy boxes.
Yeah.
You want to know where my first fairy box is? It's like the seventh to last card in my deck, and then the second fairy box that I have in the deck is the fourth last card in the deck.
You want to know where my third one is? In my hand, the 23rd card in my deck.
Why?
Yeah, you know, you gotta just, at this point, you gotta just know it's the protagonist powers, you know.
Why am I the villain?
I don't know, man.
What happened?
This is just like the universe just figured that this is how things are going to be.
I mean, I think I'm 12-3 now, right? 3-12.
Yeah, I think I haven't really kept track. Because I don't know. I feel like half these wins definitely have not been deserved.
They're deserved. They're absolutely deserved.
I will say I'm very glad that game 2 literally was settled on a coin flip. I thought that was actually great. So, and I'm happy we got a game 3. But yeah, the game.
I'm so
3
glad.
Get done.
Every single one of these in the last like three sets has been a best of 3, like a real best of 3.
At least we're getting there. Yeah, that's actually
slowly but steadily.
Yeah, you're gonna turn it around, and then in 10 episodes, it's gonna be me going 0-2 for 10 episodes straight.
Ooh. That's absolutely how it's gonna go, right? It's not gonna be like I just griefed myself the entire time, or build a ass deck.
Or you get into a position where you can win, and you're like, fuck it, let's throw for content. What's the worst that could happen?
Come on, that was a good throw though.
It was. I will give you that. And I must admit something apart from cheating, where I'm happy it was game 2. I'm happy I ended up losing that, because obviously like having bait dolls in my grave instead of deck means that I could actually draw other stuff more frequently. So I'm happy the one game it didn't end up mattering, because I was definitely cheating with those. But I did end up boarding out of Fusion Gates and Mario Q ties for the last game. So had to take one L to get a dub. That's
makes sense.
Where it's gonna go.
But you did get to summon it.
I did get to legitimately summon the last warrior from another planet, which it was pretty dope.
That's a win in my book.
We take those. But hey, if anything, you now get to, because for next time we're doing starter deck Joey and starter deck Pegasus, so you actually now get to pick which one you want to play. Do you want to reveal it here?
I'm gonna play Joey.
Gotcha. So next time, Jeex is going to be piloting the starter deck Joey, and I'm going to be piloting starter deck Pegasus. Can't wait to draw 3 Graceful Chariot in my starting hand.
Please no, I'm begging you.
But yeah, I'm honestly fine with it, because like we were talking about before we started recording, and I said like because I wanted to like preliminary look into like what kind of a deck I could maybe have for those. So I ended up building like a prototype for both, and I had a much harder time with deciding with the Pegasus stuff. So it'll actually be pretty interesting to get to built with those cards. I was fine with playing either, but yeah, can't wait to see Penguin Soldier or Penguin Warrior. That's a good card.
Penguin. That card's gonna be a fucking menace.
It will. It definitely will, and we'll have to see what we can find to deal with that. But that's for next time. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the episode. These were definitely like some of my favorite games we played, apart from the third one, because that was a slog where nothing happened. But the two first one was. I had a blast playing those games. So hopefully you enjoyed watching half as much as we enjoyed playing these. But anything else you wanna say before we wrap things up, Jeex?
12-3, baby.
Next time, join us next time when Jeex turns it around. I believe. You got this. But yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching this episode, and we hope to see you next week for Starter Deck, Joey, and Pegasus. So hopefully all of you have a great rest of your week, and we will see you next time. Bye.